Good evening and welcome to Geek Meets Eats After Dark. I'm sure there's nobody watching yet. It was kind of a last minute, I had work to do kind of a thing. So when you go on vacation, then you end up being slammed when you get back. But that's okay because I've been having fun.
That's the way it works.
So I've decided that I really like doing custom sodas. So I talked to Caitlin, and Caitlin told me which glitter to buy so that I can do some of the glittered ones. So I'm doing. I'm going to send some of them to Dave for his auction. He said I have to have them to him, I think, by the 15th or something.
Yeah, before the 15th, I think.
Yeah, so I've got that Sith Trooper one that I did. So the Stormtrooper that I painted red and then metallic. I'm sending him that one. I'm doing a Donald Duck 3 Caballeros. I'm going to do that one as well. Diamond, so with the glitter on it. And I have an extra Marty McFly. So I'm hoping. Hey, Newell, congratulations again on that slab, girl.
Hey, Nadia.
Hey, Hi, Nadia. How are you? Bedtime. Oh, yeah. Well, wait, I thought you were like on the west side of Canada. Like it's only like 7 o'clock where you're at or something.
It's bedtime.
But I like, oh man, my body is still not on Michigan time, even though it's only an hour behind. I was on Caitlin time for 4 days, but because we constantly were working while we were down there getting ready for the wedding,
yeah,
we were up until like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I cannot get myself to go to bed on time now. Like it's not 9 o'clock, not 10 o'clock. I'm up to like 1.
Yeah.
So
it's hard when you get, if you don't, once you get off a schedule to get back on a schedule.
But did you see where I went?
I did.
How cool is this little drink thing? How cool. Hey, brother.
Hello.
Xander, meet Mama J. Wait, that way.
That way.
Mama J lives right near you, and I've been telling her about your art, and Mama J is very, very, very into artwork and stuff like that, and she's been buying a lot of the, like the ones that are just bigger than postcard, like the Spawn one that you sent me. So I was, she was looking at your stuff, but you go to Long Beach, right?
We do. Here and there.
Can you hear him?
Yeah, you're muffled, Xander.
I can't hear him.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't frequent Long Beach often, but we do go up there every once in a while for certain events. We were just in Venice Beach, so we're up in Los Angeles here and there. Long Beach being one of those places.
So are you more close? Are you closer to San Diego then?
Yeah, we are San Diego.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's up in LA. So
yeah. Well, I'm in like closer to Long Beach, but I live in LA County, but not LA.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Yeah, we're in like right now we're in the Murrieta area, just right in between everything. We used to be I grew up in San Diego, so that's where I grew up. We just recently moved less than a year ago out here in like Murrieta, Temecula.
Okay. That's cool. So if you guys weren't at the show that I had Xander on before, how I met Xander is actually I liked one of his reels and he had reached out to me and we got to talking, and then he showed me the artwork that he was doing for the hot sauce company, Sunfire Hot Sauce. And then I ended up buying some of the bottles that you'd done the artwork on, and then we did the show. But you guys came on before that so that we could talk about it and and talk about the hot sauces and everything else. And I know you've been branching out. You're going to LA Comic-Con. That's right? Yeah. Correct, you're gonna have a booth set up there, and I'm still coveting that astronaut rug. I am.
Most definitely. I mean, we got it. We got it here. We got it nice and safe. It's waiting for the right person. So, I'm trying to get a whole bunch of things ready for not just Comic-Con, but the introduction to the comic book, where that astronaut comes from. Exactly.
So this is one of Xander's original pieces of art. I looked at it at first and I was like, that's too clean. And I didn't have the lights on. I was like, that's too clean. This must be just like a print or something. And then I flipped it over and I was like, nope, that's real. that's real. And it's just so cool. I mean, I obviously Mama J knows. Mama J has sent me a ton of astronaut stuff. I have so I pulled some of it out so you guys can see it. So this Mama J sent me this. This goes on my Christmas tree in the studio. And when you plug it in, it says this is one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind. And Mama J sent me a bunch of these in different sizes.
Oh, I love it.
And then obviously I have the prototype astronaut and space chimp from Handmade by Robots, and that's the shirt that Mama J is wearing right there. And then I have both the astronaut Funko sodas, but I actually customized this one with the gold shield on it instead of the black, because if you look, I want to try and finish it. I want to try and put the camera on the front of him, but see, so
that's cool.
When he actually put the flag in, he had a gold sun shield on. So I changed the Funko one from it. So that was another thing that endeared me to you, Xander. But I think the other thing is the positivity, and I don't want to dwell on. I know things have been kind of not going all up and up right now, but
yeah,
the positivity that you still are able to put out is one of the things that endeared me to you as well. So a lot of people are doing now. I was about to say I'm putting my beaver on the floor, but I guess I won't. Well, you can't go to Buc-ee's and not make a ton of beaver jokes. I mean, it's just everywhere. It's in your face. And but there's a lot of people that
She's now a major Buc-ee's fan, just so everyone knows.
Huge Buc-ee. I got Beaver Buddies cookies too, because I just thought that was hilarious that the box says Beaver Buddies. And I got Beaver Nuggets, which is like a puffed corn snack. And the Pop Rocks. I got Pop Rocks to send. Xander asked Mama J to put her mask on. No. Hi, Caitlin. How are you?
To put my mask on. No.
So back to the designer toys. So there's a lot of people that are branching out to designer toys, and especially it seems like it's kind of grown quite a bit. Now you were doing these before all the stuff started happening with Funko, but now that Funko's gone crazy, I've seen a lot of people branching out and doing designer toys. So Xander's launched a designer toy company, and I bought one. But I told Xander the funny thing is I don't smoke.
But that is so freaking cool.
This is a Buddies, and if you go on to it's Xander6 Comics with an X on his Instagram, he now has purple ones as well.
Whoa.
But this is the Ghostface variant, if I'm correct.
Okay, so they're all custom. This is the Ghostface one. It's not official. It's not even supposed to be Ghostface. They're just all very unique, and they're all one of ones. So that one just happened to kind of
look like Ghostface.
So, all right, Xander. So Mama J likes her magic candy. But so I have her here because I don't, know all of the lingo, and I didn't want to sound completely stupid. So explain to me. So they're one of ones. Do you have a mold where you could produce another one of these, or each one is hand done?
Each one is hand sculpted by my wife, Ariana Page. So she hand sculpts. The original design is done by me. I do hand drawn versions. And so all of them are hand painted, hand sculpted, one of ones, unique. We do have some molds of certain ones coming. We don't want to introduce that yet until around the holiday season, actually. But we want to get everyone a one of one art piece before we start doing mass production. We're figuring out mass production with it and how we can do that ourselves, because everything is independent. So we're working at a fast rate to get a very small step ahead, but each step ahead is a beautiful one. So collectors like yourself and supporters like yourself are able to kind of come on this journey with me while we see how it works and what's going on. And luckily I'll be able to go to certain conventions and display these for the world to see what they feel.
So, okay, and you're talking about doing mass production. So that was going to be one of my questions. So, to me, even though much of the country, or a lot of the country now, except for where Caitlin lives, because you can't do anything in that county, um, is pot friendly, smoke friendly. So, how do you scale this to a more mainstream, or do you think this is going to be like a niche product for people who do partake?
I think it's a niche product for people who partake, but I think because of cannabis and its benefits as far as where it's taken, the business is taking it, and also, of course, the medical benefits as well. There's a reason why it's here for everyone to be able to consume. That is automatically going to make it worldwide big as it can be. So I'm not worried about that. I don't really aim it to I'm not trying to sell it to children. And that's actually a big thing that while I'm out here doing my pop-up shops, I'm having this live time, like being able to figure out, because children automatically see it and they go, "What's that?" And I got to tell them, "Oh, it's and luckily their parents, that's kind of to say the least, cannabis is accepted because the parents aren't tripping. They like how I handle, like, oh, that's actually a fruit from Jamaica, you know what I mean? And then the parents kind of go, oh yeah, that's for adults, and so there's this responsibility I hold to myself, because even as I was creating it, I'm going, it's cute. So there's automatically that attraction. We're gonna call it a designer toy being, something I bought toys as a kid, but also there is like a precaution warning. It's not for everyone. It's definitely not for children. You have to be 18 or older, you know what I'm saying? So I'm cautious of that. I'm figuring it out all at the same time, so I can't say that like I have it mapped out. I'm trying to figure it out. I do know that I don't like certain aspects of like drug culture introduced into even comics or like artwork in that fashion. I don't really like it, but it's a reality. I seen someone who actually I respect do something called crack babies, which I don't like. You know what I'm saying? Which it doesn't really, because it doesn't make sense to me for the purpose of it. And I guess that just is to each his own. So that's no knock or shade at anyone doing what they do. It's I have a certain threshold of responsibility I hold on myself. So
Do you have
people
any of the
also look
people?
at different things different ways. Just because you may be okay with things that revolve around 420 does not mean you're okay with things that revolve around crack. But I will tell you, and I know that you live in California, if you go to dispensaries now, they've moved on. You can now buy mushrooms at a dispensary.
Yes.
Which just blows my mind. You can now buy mushrooms there.
Correct.
And to me, that's almost taking it a step too far. Because depending on how that goes, but they're trying to legalize that now too. So yeah.
And I mean, again, that's me and my dad have this famous conversation we always have, is if they made every drug legal, it doesn't mean I'm gonna go do it.
That is true. Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the thing is do we want to see, because like so right when I graduated high school, I had this awareness to like they're creating brands for like people my age at like 18, 17 to buy merchandise that has a cup of lean, which is cough syrup, which is liquid heroin, you know what I mean? And so now you got kids wanting to have this thing because it looks cool, because it's a cartoon. So I've always had that awareness, like, I don't want to be a part of that, and that's why, again, it has to be people of age. It has to be a niche thing. I'm not putting sponsorship ads towards this, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to sell to a market other than the ones the supporters that I meet in like real life, or like how I met you through social media the organic way. There's just, that understanding. So that's why even on my page, I, for all my products, I don't push to go, hey, go buy this. I don't say that. I really, my social media, my Instagram is just a place where I could kind of put the portfolio there and show you a documentation of certain things, how I was making them. And that's not to be, oh, look, come onto my page and see how stuff is made. My thing is more of like, see how a human being in this time period is doing something with their time.
Right.
At the, at the height of that. So yeah, I don't think about mass production for this particular product. Again, I'm also not trying to claim to be a toy artist, because I haven't yet earned that. Like I draw. I've earned that. I spent a lot of time to be a graphic artist. So
I'm gonna tell you, these will sell. People will want these. No ifs, ands, or buts. And if you hook up with some of the dispensaries and get the owners to buy these and sell them in their locations, I'm telling you,
most definitely,
that's a home run for you right there.
And I have been having a lot of conversations with certain dispensaries because I partake myself, so I'm in that field of just like knowing where things are for cannabis. But and my best friend, he's actually like, I think he's like a cannabis guru because he knows the best dispensary, the best deal at your location, and it could be all remote. He could find it. I don't know how he does it. He just has that sense. So he's helped me kind of map that out and figure out how to go talk to individuals through the dispensary. So I'm having conversations with that. I'm never afraid to have those types of conversations, but at the end of the day, it's been kind of hard because I think the cannabis industry doesn't yet know what designer toys is about to do. I think like when we saw Snoop Dogg open up Funko, the store, that was like an inclination of like that's the future, but they don't really know it yet. But Snoop and his team know what's about to happen.
But
So
Snoop's
they're just ahead
very
of the
smart
curve.
businessman if you watch him. He's like Gene Simmons. You're not going to stop him no matter what you do. The man has visions.
Don't you agree that I think that part of the reason why there's been so much backlash towards Funko is because Funko has trended away from being a collectibles company to a toy company. And by being a toy company, it's like Mattel or Hasbro now, where you can get them everywhere in, discounts and this, that, and the other, and taking the piece counts off the sodas and things like that, where they could be making millions of them. They have almost devalued that. And I think that's why people are searching out the designer toy companies, if you will, is because, and I mean, that's one of the things I like about them, Handmade by Robots, is they're not all the same. They're not all, a 4-inch with the same shaped head. They've actually molded their characters where each one has a different head shape, and you can tell what character they are. I mean, they have features, like I said, the Sanderson sisters. You can tell that's Sarah Jessica Parker. So I think that's what people are searching for, is that, especially with the collector market, which Mama J and I are in, is we are searching out those things that are collectible, but also more desirable because they're made in a smaller quantity. Now, do you have any of the other ones with you, like the purple ones or anything else that you could show?
I do. Let me go grab them real quick. I do.
Deadpool. Yes, I did show a Deadpool. It was just, that's the closest one.
Not a Deadpool. A Deadpool.
That's what I said, Deadpool.
Yeah, that wasn't a typo.
Yeah. All right. So
here, I'll put you up big, Xander.
So I want to introduce the minis. These I haven't yet posted anything about them yet. We've had a couple in the store as far as our pop-up shops. So I got to kind of see like how people reacted to them, and these just were like the best reactions. So I was like, we got to get a whole bunch next. We did dial in the purple one. The colors, she was having tough time in the very beginning, I guess, conceptualizing like how to capture the purple nug, you know what I mean? But I want it to be a cartoon, so we hit it with some light colors, but yes, all hand sculpted by Ariana Page. This is the big one.
Oh, that's cute.
That is cute.
This guy's got a little character. You know what I mean?
He's got a little booty on him too.
He's got some booty. He's got a little little hairdo.
Yep. Look like a little man bun.
A little man bud. That's like your Zen bud.
And so yeah, so the minis are like I think 25 in person and 30 online. We haven't yet dropped them online. I'm about to create footage. So yes, we've been working on like a whole bunch of stuff all at once. I actually, beyond the buddies, I have a sculpted helmet of the astronaut character.
Oh.
So I'm doing the figure just piece by piece, but actually I'm gonna be dropping these as like almost like sorry about this. Is all
buddy back there. There you go.
Bam. Like, so I'm actually gonna be dropping this as its own item anyhow, not necessarily a toy or anything like that, just a sculpture. I'm only going to be showcasing it at the pop-up shops just to kind of introduce the character. That's what I've been doing at the pop-up shops during this tour time, is just introducing the character Z, who is the astronaut. Correct. Yeah, so the character's name is Z, which is actually a tie-in to me, Xander, and that's also my signature. So the comic book's logo is the title logo is my signature. And that character is an artist. So as you can see, he's working the keyboard. Mm-hmm. He also paints. He's also a dancer. You know, he does spoken word. He does poetry, rhymes. And it's a journey through space, but really it's a journey within his own mind. He's in meditation. And I want the reader to know that he's in meditation, but I also want them to forget every time that they read it and they go through that journey, because it's not necessarily about the fact that he's in meditation. It's that you're on this journey that goes beyond limits. And so you're wondering, what is the deeper meaning of it? And why are we even watching it? Why are we reading this? What is the purpose of it? What did I just see? So I just want it to be something that's very like thoughtful and deep and provoke, you know, our inner thoughts, our deepest inner thoughts. And I want it to be a cool looking, simple cartoon, because I want it to trick you. You know, it's supposed to be deeper than style, and style will be within it. Like flow will be all within it, but it will have this super deep meaning, if that makes any sense. I've been in the studio. I've been going like just doing a whole bunch of different projects all at once. I'm grateful that I have like a little team here at my house to get it done. My dad's helping with mold making as far as you know, getting these done. That's also going to help us figure out how to do the molds perfect for the buddies. All at the same time, I'm working on 2 comic books, independent. So yeah, and then doing a tour, but the weather is finally clearing up, so the rain has opened us up to be outside.
Now, the character that's behind your elbow there, I've seen you post that on Instagram quite a bit. Now, is this a separate comic book line, or how do you explain this character?
Yeah, so this is a separate comic. So what's awesome about this character, and also the actual tie-in to my real life, is that it doesn't stray away from too much from the character Z. You know, obviously it's got this liquid aspect to it. I'm going to be explaining as the time goes on about what all the liquid is, especially even for Z. So it's a different storyline. This is actually based off a real person. His name's Steve Mules. He's a video producer, videographer, a visionary, really, when it comes down to it. He's based out in New York City. He's done a lot of work for like some really big names like Russ. He's a legend in the music field. So he's like shooting his documentary, doing the whole tour. And I got connected to him through Russ and his people, and also through that tour because I was able to go. And I got to meet a lot of the individuals there. So as far as that, like for the team, like Russ's team and stuff. So I've been going back and forth with him, and we finally got into this space where I can kind of figure out what it is that we're doing as artists. That's why I like that Z is an artist, because as artists we're making things out of nothing. And I think that that's quite miraculous, especially when it's not just you're like putting yourself out there to inspire others at the same time.
Mhm.
And I believe like Steve Mules is just one of those individuals that is like here to just inspire to the highest degree, because we all have like something in us that is worth bringing out. We just don't always all feel like that's the case. I feel like we're all a star, and so it doesn't mean we all got it figured out. I'm like, it doesn't mean that I'm out here knowing what I'm doing. I
Right.
don't. And that's the whole point. I don't know one thing. I'm figuring it out, but let me like show you what figuring it out means. Like, let me show you that like you can do this. Cause I'm a regular person. I have no ties to any industry that I'm trying to dabble into. And so being an independent artist is like a lonely occupation, but also being a human being is a lonely occupation. And so we're not different. And just because I said I'm an artist a long time ago doesn't mean I'm any more different or special than someone who is a lawyer. Matter of fact, they're smarter than I. You know what I mean? So there's like a whole bunch of things that I'm trying to get together to showcase to the world, like during a Comic Con, during a designer con, um, so that people can see like we're out here doing something real. So again, it being based off a real person, there's more tie into like the reality of the emotion that you're seeing within these pieces. This piece is actually to kind of give you a background of what this piece is about. He lost a family member in the storyline, but also a tie into real life through to breast cancer, and that was what activated this character's powers. Was losing that family member, was the pain of that, and so that triggered what was already in him, the purpose of it all, even where that spirit comes from and what it's here for. That was triggered, and so this is the moment his powers come into fruition and he becomes this hero, and he's on this pathway. So this is actually the character's teen years. Once he gets into his early 20s, he'll have a different look, a different vibe. And that's kind of when the reader will pick up on it. I'm doing the origin story right now as far as visuals, so that people can kind of get into it, so that also my collaborator can see what I'm doing and what I'm about, because we're doing everything remotely. I can't have a phone call every day with everyone all at the same time. So I'm just trying to do my best work organically and see where it goes. Everything is off the fly. Nothing is written in contract or anything like that. So we're just kind of moving with what we can.
So what I've pulled up here is actually your website. So there is art by you as well. So he does mainstream stuff as well beyond the comic book art. And so there's all kinds of prints that you have. You've got your Bob Marley, and you've got Eminem, which he lives about 15 minutes from me. So how do you take photos? Like, I know Mama J was really loving the Jimi Hendrix one. Do you take photos of these people and then conceptualize it into a different form of art, like paint over it? Or how do you come up with the ones that you do so that it still looks like the person, but yet you've put your own Xander twist on it?
So yeah, I use photo reference for all of these, and not all of these pieces are mine. Some of them are Ariana's as well. My girlfriend, my lady. So she does like color pencil artwork. So some of the hyper realism pieces you see are hers. But as far as photo reference, so I take from either iconic photos or just things that I like, photos that I like. It could be something random. There's a Drake piece in there from a paparazzi shot, and it's like from 50 yards away, and I just happened to like zoom in on his face. I'm like, I like that. So I just drew that. Um Ariana draws originally in color pencil on paper, so her process is mad wild. If you guys don't know about Ariana's work like that, that's all of her work right there. It's crazy because that's color pencil. And what's insane is that she's drawing on paper like no bigger than my face. So she's drawing it very small, but to get that much detail is like insane. And so then for me, I'm a comic book artist, so most of my work is on paper first, and then I digitally ink, digitally color. A lot of the pieces though that like were on the website, I actually just drew straight on the computer with photo reference, and like that piece right there was like I just drew straight on computer on the Surface tablet with a stylus pen. So I looked up a long time ago how do comic book artists get their artwork to look like comic book covers, right? That was because I didn't know what was going on in the game. I was so late to the party, and so I typed up that I go, what are they doing that I can make it look professional?
Mhm.
And it was the first thing was like a Wacom, the big old tabletop tablets that like the comic book artists have, and those are like thousands and thousands of dollars. And so I was like, okay, what's the next step down? And then a Surface Pro computer, tablet computer was the next step down of like, I can afford this, I can do something with it, and I've used it ever since. I haven't gone back. So the computer actually helped me with my coloring skill. I was really timid to coloring my pieces, especially on paper like this. I used to never want to do it. I would do a black and white design. I'd be like, ooh, crisp, perfect. But I knew deep down, I go, I have to be able to translate it to color. Like I have to do something with this drawing. And the computer really helped me do that. So that's actually why I'm going back to doing paper pieces, is because I learned so much from drawing on a tablet. I it's almost easier now to draw on paper, if that makes any
No,
sense.
I wouldn't think that. I would have thought that it would be, easier to do on the tablet itself. With the shading tools that you guys have, and all the different programs that you can do now. Like, I am not an artist. I mean, I try, but I am nowhere near the caliber that you are. But I stick to what I'm good at. So I can cook. And in my own way, that's my way of putting color and flavor into the world, where it is with your art. And in Mama J's case, Mama J spreads the love all over the country all the time. We get all these random envelopes and everything else, and boxes of stuff from her. She's spreading smiles, and I think it's all based on the person, and the heart of the person is how they share the love of things. So I get a big kick out of when I do custom cakes and stuff. I get a big kick out of watching those kids, their smiles when they see that cake for the first time. Like, that is mine. Marisol, what's up, girl? And in your case, it's the artwork that you bring out. Now, you also have the smaller prints that you do when you do the like the different pop up shops and stuff like that. Are those also the $60 frame? Like that amount, or are those a little bit less?
No, those are $5, 3 for $10. I have $15 paper prints, 2 for $20 in store. I think everything online's a little bit like maybe $5 more expensive just because of shipping and everything.
Okay.
I'm not exactly sure, just because Ariana also handles that aspect of the website. So she's the brain of the operation and also the most talented artist of the operation. She's actually, low key, because she never likes to be on camera or be presented that way. So a lot of people don't know. That's why I always try to slip it in, because it's like, man, if you just If you guys could see what she does, it's insane. But as far as the paper prints, those are the cheapest product that we have in store. My whole theory is I want people, if I was 7 or 14 and I saw Eminem drawn as a comic book, I would look to my mom and go, please. I would be like, please. And she would know. But if it was $200, you know, I already know I can't even talk to this person anymore about it. I gotta walk away. You
Right.
know what I mean? Because now I'm so upset. So if it was $5, I would, mom, can we get 4? You know what I'm saying? Like she would even suggest to get more.
Right.
So that was always my thought. I started the reason why I have music artists is because those are my favorite music artists, and I listen to them on a daily basis. And so at first, it wasn't smart to draw Lil Wayne or Eminem or 50 Cent. It wasn't smart at that time period when I was drawing them. This was like 7 years ago. You would think it would be because they were the biggest things and they still are, but it's a new world and it's a whole new everything's got a new genre within it. Hip hop
Right.
has new genres within hip hop. Country has new genres. So there's a whole new wave of just like new things out there. So I was almost like drawing things for 30-year-olds and I didn't know it. And I was specifically drawing stuff for a certain age group. And the only reason I like old school stuff because I have an older brother. I got a dad who was a b-boy, but and was breakdancing, and so I have a line of music from the past that goes beyond like hip hop. I love all music, so I'm drawing things for certain age groups. Like Ariana draws a lot of classical. You saw the Marvin Gaye, the Nina Simone. We're drawing the things that come from us, and naturally that is the past. And we're just taking the past and trying to bring it into a new light so that people can just appreciate it because they're going to appreciate it regardless. When they hear a song, they don't need to know it's Etta James. They love that. They love the flow that Etta James put in, but they remixed her whole song. It's not even her song anymore. But then no one cares. They just love that little part where Etta James hit that. They don't need to know it was Etta. But
Right.
I know because I'm a music guy. I'm a comic book guy, so I know certain artists that do comic book covers, and that makes it more exciting for me. I just
So I
try
have
to
a
keep that.
question. Would you
Okay.
ever do an Alice Cooper? Because she's a huge Alice Cooper fan.
I was just going to ask, do you do commissions?
I do. That's what we specialize in. We specialize in commission artwork.
Because, I always reach out to people and it's one of two things, either Alice Cooper or Ozzy Osbourne.
Rock and roll.
Most
definitely. I most definitely can do something. And that's actually the custom artwork is actually the true purpose of like what I do this for as a person in life. Like I found my purpose because I decided to go be an artist and I decided to go find and like put my artwork out there in the public. I was able to find like what my true purpose is. Every time we do a pop-up shop, someone comes in and there's laughter, there's genuine tears, there's hugs, there's pain being released, there's healing, and that I can't really explain how it works, but it just happens in that space that we create every time we pop up somewhere. And that's my purpose. Like, and so that's
Hey,
why I
Nick.
appreciate what you said earlier about just the energy, the positivity that I bring. Because yeah, like I told you a little bit, it's not all positive, and it's never gonna be all positive. But I had to, for myself to not get depressed, I had to just draw. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna draw. I'm gonna draw my heart off. I don't know what I'm gonna draw, but everything I started drawing, and that's why I sent that piece to you because that was a piece of that puzzle. Was I'm finding what I'm about to do. Like I know what I'm about to do. I know my purpose.
You also know I'm
So
a person that would cherish that. That's not going in the garbage. That's going up in here somewhere as soon as I find a frame to fit it, and it'll be up
exactly.
in here because I am an astronaut fan. And you sent me the Spawn piece because you knew I'm a Spawn fan, And you know, one of the things I will say, Xander, is the cool part of it is now that I've kind of introduced you to my world of things, is it's not all sunshines, rainbows, and puppies. I mean, Mama J and I have been through so much together in the short amount of years that we've known each other, where you do get those lemons, you know, that will try and suck you dry. And but we've persevered, and part of that perseverance is the fact that we have other people that are supportive. So like Mama J and I are part of a chat that I can it's a small chat, and it's not that we're being snotty or whatever, but that group of women all get along. There are zero fights between any of us, and we are all supportive. So if somebody's having a rough day, you know, we're there to talk. We do backstages where we're not live, but we're on like this platform. So it's the same thing. We're all on screen, and we'll do it whenever we need to. So, you know, like, hey, I've got something to show, or hey, I'm having a bad day, or hey, I'm having a really good day, or hey, I just want to laugh.
Right.
And, you know, we support each other. And so that's part of what I am hoping that you know, get to be a part of this world, our world too, with the, you know, this collector side of things, so that you know that you do have people that support and care. And Mama J had already gone out when I told her. I asked her if she could come on here, so I didn't sound stupid when I was talking about, you know, buddies. She went out and looked at your stuff, and she's like, she was already talking about it. And Mama J likes art prints, and so that's been something. Mama J sent me a couple of artist proofs, which are now they're staying flat right now until I can get frames for them as well. But they're also astronauts, you know. So I'm gonna have like this whole section of wall over here. It's just gonna be all my astronaut artwork.
Beautiful.
So that'll be cool. Yeah.
Most definitely. Most definitely. I mean, I appreciate you guys welcoming me in. Just overall, like I've always been a part of comic books and toys, but I was always late to the party, like I've said before. And I didn't know like that others like love that stuff, and I'm also only 25, but I just had this perception of life that was like I'm so like old soul because of my family, you know, the things that I was able to soak up while being a youngster. I have this different way of looking at life. Like I'm starting to create my own foundation for my dreams to flourish. And so I'm really appreciative that the community has opened itself up and said, hey, like we want to watch you make toys. We want to watch you, you know, draw something and then make it come into 3D. And we want to support that. Whoa, you got music? You got your stuff on music? We want that. You know what I mean? Oh, it's on a hot sauce bottle? Please, like, how can I help? And it's been like unreal. And at this time period, because I used to be like, do I deserve it? And it's not that I feel that I deserve it. It's that I'm not going to fight it anymore. It's like, okay, thank you. What can I give? Like how, like, I feel like me and you though is crazy because you like Spawn and you happen to like love astronauts, but I happen to like create that before I met you. You know what I'm saying? And just like, and I also happen to like have we had our own experiences in life that allowed us to like soak up the same stuff, but also, you know, come together and be like, look, this is what we dig. And that it's so important to me because like my support group, that's literally why I can do this. I think about you guys like family, because I literally wouldn't be able to do this without it. So if I could pick up on something that, you know, is your interest, I'm gonna think about it like almost like every time you order something, it's like I'm about to send you a Christmas gift. I'm about to send you a birthday gift. That's how I'm looking at it. And I get to I'm afforded that right now because of the degree that I'm selling my work. It's not at the thousands right now. So I'm able to like, I can pack up everything and I could kiss it almost in a sense. You know what I'm saying? I go, whoop, okay, cool. Bye.
You can add that personal touch that once you become too big,
correct.
Then that's gotta move somewhere else because you no longer, it's just not possible.
Exactly. Sorry about that.
Oh, no, so Mama J, I have a question for you, which would relate to Xander. So it's been, I'm sure you've been into them for a while, and I know that and everything, but what draws you to like these artists? Because I know you send links into the chats and stuff for the one, but like, what is it about certain artists that you look for?
I I look for certain rock stars and Wonder Woman. But in general, when I see their art, I mean, if it draws my attention, but like I don't collect astronauts, okay? I just don't. But if I'm watching this art show and I'm seeing these amazing astronaut prints, and I'm like, okay, well, Brandy likes astronauts, you know, so I may snatch up some astronauts, you know, or I might see like Wonder Woman prints. You know, obviously I'm going to buy them all for me, but if I see some that I really like more than others, I may snatch some of those up for like Caitlin. You know, so it makes it very easy for me to, because I do send a lot of stuff out in the community. It makes it very easy for me to add things on and to send to more people when I buy, you know, the art prints that fit right into a card. I mean, obviously, I keep looking over here, but I have a huge wall that has art from multiple different artists up on the wall. Um, it's just, I look for something that's different. I don't want, like the ones I send to everybody, those are prints, but I also have other ones that are prints, but something that maybe you're not going to find 500 of them when you walk in a store. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That I'm not saying I'm the only one that has that copy. I'm sure many other people do, but I want people to walk, you know, see it and be like, damn, where'd you get that?
Right. Right.
You know, how'd you get that? You know, that's what I want people to say. Or when you send them the other prints and they look at them and they're like, this is friggin' cool. You know, that's what I want. That's the reaction I look for when I'm looking at art. And what I like to see when I purchase it, because I'm not an artist in any way, shape, or form. You know, when I purchase it or send it out or put it on my wall, I want people to have that same reaction, like, that's friggin' cool. Look at that, you know. So
Xander, and this is just me doing some like brainstorming here, but because YouTube has a platform where there's a lot of people that do sales on here, would it be something you'd be interested in either coming on here or getting your own channel where you could actually sell your art prints? And like why I was mentioning it is because I do have the collector side of things. If we did introduce you even more, like you brought your prints up to the $5 each or 3 for 10 or whatever on, and got you more immersed in that, would that be something that would benefit you, or is that something you just want to stay local and do in person?
Well, to answer the last part of that question, no, I don't want to stay local, and just do in person because that gets old. And I do a lot of pop-up shops and a lot of street shows, and that gets old. So no, I would never want to say, I would never want to cap myself
because
at a
eventually
certain.
everybody near you may have already have it, you know?
Exactly, and I would like the world to see what's
Yes.
about. But and then to answer your first part of your question, most definitely, I'm very like comfortable to do that type of thing. I used to do a thing called Pop Shop. I'm sure you're very familiar with it.
Mhm.
So I know this. I know like the schematics of it. I also know how to sell my work. So I would love to do something like that. As far as like having my own channel to do something of that nature, I used to do on Instagram Live. That's how I discovered it, and this is before Pop Shop days. I was like 19, and I was just kind of using the platform for whatever I could, and I was getting cash apps, but I found that um, if I constantly like on Instagram particularly because it's just the specifics. If I keep trying to sell to my support group over and over and over again, it becomes like I think to myself, what am I doing? But as far as like going on a platform like a YouTube where the discovery of it, the aspect of it, the exposure aspect of where the discovery pages can take you, other platforms can take you because you put the work into this show, you put the work into this foundation. This is what you want to do. I like that part of just being like able to come on here and be honored to do to have some time with your audience, with you guys, and whatever we want to do. So I'm enjoying it that way. As far as like visions for it, I told someone on one of my last interviews a couple months ago, that I don't want to be Instagram famous. I don't want to be famous. um I'm well known in the city that I live in, and I actually am somewhat of a staple at at the certain swap meets and markets, so people know us in that way. But I want to keep it. I want to keep the love pure forever. And so that's why I said, like, I never want to put a cap on my success, but I definitely don't want to try to like do things to just like because it sells, like, the buddies. I have to be precise on how I curate this,
Mhm.
because I could just sell it to anybody. You know what I'm saying? And I could promote this uh, like it's candy. You know what I mean, to children, like. And I wouldn't want to do that, so I have to figure out, how do I do this respectfully? How do I do this honestly? And then also knowing that I may not do this forever. The buddies, particularly, or or anything I do, I may not do it forever. I like to have the space open for
I
me to
have one
just.
though.
Exactly, and not only that, we get to have this connection for the time that we get to have this connection for. um and like anyone that I know and I come across, I go, however long that time is, I was grateful that we got to have it and we got to do this, because man, life would be so much more lonely if we didn't have this to do. Everyone complained about having to stay inside doors for a long time, but some of us didn't complain. Some of us just understood and said, okay, let's put our minds back into our own body again, because our
Listen, a lot
minds
of
were.
friendships were made during that time, you know. I
Yep.
mean, we all complained about having to be stuck at home, but a lot of friendships were made during that time because this is
Exactly.
where everybody came, Instagram, YouTube, because this was a way to communicate without having to physically be in the same room.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
changed everything, and we should be, like, in a way, like, very grateful that we had this the time period to do this, because now again, people created businesses, relationships, friendships through this time period, and they're going to survive past the next situation that comes about. You know what I
Can you
mean?
guys imagine though, like if we didn't have these types of outlets with the YouTube and Instagram and Facebook and everything else, of
Mhm.
going through a COVID lockdown situation, how lonely people would be? Because
Listen, if this was back when I was in school and this happened, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have cell phones. I'm old, okay? We didn't have any of that. We would have had to be at home and listen to our radios, and you know how we would have to write a letter and put it in the mailbox. I mean, those are how we would have had to communicate. And that
Oh,
would not have worked well.
that would have been a lot of letters.
Yeah,
it's
right?
yeah,
You
I
know.
like it was email at first because then you could have instantaneous contact. But I told my mom I got on Facebook. My mom was actually on Facebook before I was, I believe. But
Well,
what happened was I reached out to like my cousins that I'd lost touch with. I found them on
mhm.
Facebook and we were able to reconnect and now we, hang out in person. So
People
it's
are
been
friends
amazing.
longer nowadays. People that you were friends with in elementary and junior high that you would have never stayed friends with again,
Mhm.
you still have them on the internet that you can communicate with them.
Yep.
And yeah, like when AOL first came out, AOL, oh my God, that was like the thing. But AOL used to have chat rooms. Okay. I don't know if anybody else is old enough to remember that, but AOL used to have chat rooms and they were like 30 and over, looking to flirt. I mean, they would have like crazy names or something, and you'd pick the chat room you wanted to go in.
Hmm.
You could make your own chat room and let people join you if you wanted,
Right.
But that was the big thing back then. Now that doesn't exist anymore, obviously. Things keep progressing, but yeah, I couldn't imagine going through COVID while I was in high school at all, in school at all.
No.
Yeah, me neither. That I think about that often too, actually, because the kids that went through, it's already 3 years later. The fact that you're 17 and now 20 years old, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's a whole different life. So just the whole, like, just thinking about what they went through during that time period, and how did that change the world, because things are changing ever so quickly.
Mhm.
Every year it becomes, the generations, the gap becomes less and less. Like, me and my brother are only 5 years apart, but we're a lifetime apart.
Yep.
And that's crazy because it used to be, you had to be 10 years older for you to have a different world. You know what I'm saying? And so, now it's becoming by the year. And that's actually a really cool aspect of being out there for these pop-up shops on this tour is seeing how the world exists all at once.
Yep.
What are we all doing all at once? You could see the tension, you could feel the tension, you could feel the economy and what it's going through. You can see what the mental situation is for all of us. Even the crazy person smacking their head down the street homeless is an extension of us. And so I see that even as I'm out here. And that's again why I said I want to be off the street vending stuff, because I've gotten past that point of where I need to see this. I no longer need to see all the crazy stuff out there in the world. I need to go to like Comic Cons and the designer cons where the environment is set to be for this world. Like, we're here to
They're
come
still
collect.
crazy.
It's crazy, but
They're
it's like
still
it's like
crazy.
it's like this level of crazy that I could get down with. Like,
Yes.
I like that we could have a conversation about Spider-Man for 2 hours. It's like I like that. Like, yes, on my day to day, I'm not really as into some of the conversations that I have out there with individuals, but like I love the fact that I'm out here presenting myself as an artist, and people are like opening up to me as a person. And that's what's beautiful about it. It's like, no, it's not like, dude, you're some famous rock and roll artist, man. Like, look at you, look what you got going on. It's like, no, bro, like look at the life you get to live with all of us together in this. And that's special, so that's why, like, the comic books that I'm working on right now, I'm not working on something I'm going to be working on for 20 years. I'm working on something that I want it to be. It's going to take some time, but I want it to be substantial and last a lifetime. Kind of like how, like, a Frank Miller, anything he did, Batman, it stands the test of time because it was the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he wrote it in the time, and it will stand, and it means the same thing and more as it grows. That's what good writing is. That's what good storytelling is. Frank Miller wasn't the greatest of artists, but he was very good. He's one of my favorites, but he wasn't like technically the most intense artist. His detail is minimal, and that's what's crazy about it, is that he could tell these stories and whip up a scene, and you just get into it. So that's what I want these comic books to be, is like 20 years down from now, it's a story that like helped me get through something. And it's all very spiritual. It's a
Still
very
relatable.
spiritual,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and that's what I wanted to represent. For Z, like the green, he's sitting in his chair, smoking a joint. Actually, in this one, this is a little personal piece. But the chair that he's sitting in, it's actually not a chair. It's his energy source. It's an orb. It's his aura, and it's in the form of like this liquidy, almost like a lava lamp substance. And he's able to manifest anything he wants with it, whether it be all of his artwork, like the one piece that she has is he's playing the keyboard, but as you can see, it's the same color as the chair. So it's actually that liquid. It just manifested the keyboard there. And so that's how he like prefers to fly. He prefers to fly through space, playing music, and and while he's playing music, he has these deep thoughts or poetry moments when he's painting and he's going through space. He's always creating as he's going through space. He has these conversations with himself, which ultimately is the universe. And so he's talking, he's going, why is life so unfair? Why do I keep having these moments where I just don't want to be here anymore? And then his spirit, but also just spirit overall, shows up as a narrator, a silent narrator that Z doesn't hear. He doesn't actually hear this voice. This narrator pops up, and it speaks the wisdom that the wisdom. I can't really say, because it's not my wisdom, it's wisdom. Wisdom is just, it comes through us, and sometimes we're too stupid to even know that we have some wisdom in us. You know what I mean? Because we don't give ourselves enough credit. Because and so the wisdom will give the explanation of why it's worth to go on this journey. You shouldn't feel like, why me, why woe's me. You should feel gratitude for breath. You know what I mean? So it'll be always a connection to that. And then he'll stop at these planets or these stars or comets, and he'll kind of go through a little adventure that will give him the next inspiration for his next art piece as he travels to the next planet.
So is Z something that is that going to be done by LA Comic Con, like the first issue of it, or is that something that's going to be coming in like 2024?
No, that's gonna be done. That's gonna be done by summertime. So I'm currently working on tying the entire like storyline for the first issue. I'm getting the pages like thought out as far as words. So how many words is gonna be on this page, such and such, because I only have a limited frame of pages to do. So I'm getting that done right now. The artwork, I just been plugging away this last couple months on artwork, that some of it will be for panels, some of it will be full on full pages. Like this piece right here, this will be like the first I guess fold page, where it'll fold together, but when you open it, it'll be this right here. And so he's actually sitting on his own. He's sitting on a mountaintop that's actually his brain.
Oh, okay.
And he's looking at a moon, but he's actually not looking. He's meditating. I don't know if you can see it, but he's meditating. Exactly.
Yeah, you can see it.
And so this is how the comic book actually starts out. After the first scene, which is, you see him meditating on top of a mountain with a beautiful scenery with ocean, and the sun is about to set, and the you see his eyes closed but with tears in his eyes, and then the eyes open up wide, but he's also got a smile on his face, but he still has the tears in his eyes. He opens his eyes up super wide, still has a smile, and then the next panel is an atomic explosion. Same green. The explosion will be the same green as the moon. And the next page is what I just showed you right there, him looking at the moon. So you automatically enter this comic book going, what the F just happened? You know what I mean? Like, why did the world blow up? You know what I mean?
Right.
What's about to happen here? Isn't that an end? You know what I mean? Like, and then the story begins, and it's on, and you're inside his mind, and him sitting on the mountaintop of that looks like his brain, is to symbolize that you're in his mind this entire ride. So get ready, because it's about to get crazy. It's about to get really like psychedelic looking. It's about to get real spiritual. You're gonna cry, like, and that's actually something, even in the happiest moments in this comic, like, you're gonna cry, you're gonna tear up. You're gonna need to get 2 copies, because you're gonna have a copy that's just gonna constantly get tears falling on it. So you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's the mentality that I have going into it. Like this piece here, I was kept on saying it yesterday. I go, I wanted the liquid aspect of it. I want you to feel the pain. I don't know how that looks. I don't know what that looks like, but I when you're looking at it, I want you to feel the pain, because it took pain to become this.
Right.
It took a lot of trials and tribulations to become this. And that's what it's supposed to represent. It's like, as you're reading it, you're finding yourself, kind of like how a good self-help book is, like the 4 Agreements, or anything spiritual that we have, that we look at and we go, this is what keeps me whole. This keeps me sane right here. Right. And for me, I had comic books. Spider-Man was my number one, because I got to read the books from the newspaper inserts. My aunt, she got those newspaper inserts every month with the Spider-Man issues, from number 1 to like I think like 42 or something like that. That's where we ended off. But I'm talking about the original ones, not obviously not the original issues and copies, but getting to read the first Spider-Man to the second Spider-Man, the third one, and seeing just that character at its raw form when it began. You know,
Right.
I didn't get to see the Todd McFarlane version until I was older. You know, so in a way, like I got to experience things almost as if I was like a kid of the '60s, and sometimes as a kid of the '80s and a kid of the
Mama J's like,
'90s.
70s,
Exactly.
60s, 70s. That's me. I'm in the 70s. You know, we're both like in that same age bracket, and we're both like, yep, I get it.
Exactly, and that's the thing. I just want to translate that to everyone while I'm here, because I'm only here for a little bit of time. We all are only here for a little bit of time. So I want to just translate my spirit, my soul through that. And if that resonates, if that connects, and I know it does because I see it in real time. But if it does, then I'm grateful to be able to be here to do that. And I don't need anyone to be like, you're the greatest. None of that. No, I call myself. I said Xander the GOAT because it's a joke. And you know, as far as on my page, and the only reason I say it is because everyone calls. They go, "You're the GOAT." You know, that's the new word now, right?
Yeah, everybody's the goat. Tom Brady's the goat.
You're the GOAT. And so everyone just kept on saying, bro, you're the GOAT. You're the GOAT. And so I said, okay, I guess if they're gonna say it after 7 years, I'm just gonna start going with it. But if we left it up to me, I'll tell you right now, no, I'm not. You know what I mean? There's so many greats out there that you know, goes beyond me, but it doesn't mean I'm not gonna be great. It doesn't mean I'm not great. I am.
It's
Truly
what you
am.
believe in yourself. You know, we're all, like I said earlier in the show, we're all great in our own certain way. And I can tell you, I'm so excited to see what you do with all of this, since, you know, meeting you and seeing your vision and your dreams come into fruition of this physical comic book to read. Like, you know, I'm gonna get one because that's me, and it's an astronaut. But you know, it's been a blessing to meet you. Like I said, you brought some positivity in my life when I was like, you know, like worried about some stuff, and just meeting you has been this whole fun ride so far. And you know, now I've got my Spawn, you know, I've got my buddies, I've got my astronaut picture and stuff like that. You know, like I have these little pieces of you that, you know, just makes me smile when I see them. Like I don't, but it makes me smile.
Right.
You know, it's just that thing. But I wanted to thank you for, you know, giving me the time. And I know it's been a rush because I got back from Texas and it's been hitting the ground running for work. But I want to thank you for coming on tonight. You are always welcome. You know, if you have something else, or you know, you want to show up, here's what the cover is going to look like or whatever. Or if you wanted to do, like I said, if you want to come on and sell some of the prints to the people, because Mama J knows all the music people and we have the collectors, and we're all getting into this other niches of collecting now, be it the prints, be it the designer toy lines, all that kind of stuff. And nobody in here, with the exception of Golden, is under 18. So you know, it's a safe place for if you did want to like showcase the buddies and stuff like that. So you know, that offer is always open to you as well. So I do appreciate it. I told you, I said, you know, because for me it's, for you guys it's 7:09, for me it's 10:09. I got to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So
I know, trip. Sorry.
but you know, I'm glad we had this time. And Mama J, you know, I knew if you got to meet him, I was hoping that you guys would have that connection too, between the art and everything else. So, you know, I'm hoping
I'll be reaching out to you. Trust me.
I appreciate the love. I could feel it, guys. I could feel the love for real. I mean, I know I said it before, not to cut you off, but it means so much that there is just this raw connection that I can trust, you know, and it doesn't mean we're all best friends, but like, man, like what a beautiful place to like come and do this, because I feel friendships being made. I just put such a hard responsibility on myself to be a good friend. That's why, like, you know, like I think about your wants and needs, and you know, you're supporting me on like these things that you don't have to, you really don't have to. So let me throw something extra. Like, to me, it being an original means nothing other than the fact that you deserve an original piece. But it being like, oh, that whoa, I got the original. I'm disconnected from my own work that way, you know. So I just hope that you love it, and you
I
saying
do.
that it looked like a print made my whole day, because wow, like, you know, that's
When
where
I
I'm
saw it,
at.
I was looking at it, and I did. I was like, "That's way too crisp and clean to be original." And then I was like, "Holy crap! It is. It's real." And
Thank you.
it makes it all the more special to me because of knowing you and because of how I met you and everything else, and because it is also an astronaut. So anybody that knows me, as you can see, like I've had this for over a year now, and Mama J and I were both like bidding out trying to outbid each other on the auction when this came up.
Yeah, she cost me extra on that, just so you know.
But it's just been my thing, and that was, even when I met Mary and when she sent me those, like I've told people, I'm like, you better bury me with those prototypes because that's my astronauts. Those are my babies, and so
Right.
I think it was just one of those God winks moments, if you will, or world winks moments, Earth winks moments, whatever you want to call it. Sorry, she always has to come in and visit.
Exactly. We need her.
Say hi. No, she's like, it's bedtime. Don't you know it's bedtime?
She's like, come on, Mom.
It's just been I feel the same way about meeting you in our short period of time as I do as meeting Mama J. Like I had an instant connection with her. I take that back. I was scared of her for the first couple of weeks. Now I love her.
That's how it works. That's how the best friendships work.
Well, because Mama J is the type of person who also can command a room. So you don't mess with her, but you also know that if you are on the right side of Mama J, that you don't have to worry about anything.
Right.
And it's been that that kind of that instantaneous connection with you as well. Of just the weird things that are so alike between us that has been the coolest part of it, and just watching you grow in this process and everything else has been a lot of fun too since I met you, and so I'm looking forward to it. I was wanting to message her during the auction and be like, will you stop? You're costing Mama J more money. Yeah. Well, I didn't know. I thought she was just trying to help.
When I was bidding on that, yeah, she kept bidding me up. I'm like,
yeah, she did. But I'm happy to have it, and it has a special place. So I said
and it went to charity, so it's okay that you bid me up.
Exactly. But this whole thing is spiritual. This whole existence is to me is in a spiritual experience, and so there's a reason. Like I said last time, I think we did this. There's a reason why you run into people, the certain people that you run into. It is crazy the serendipity of it all, but that's also, it's only crazy if you're not paying attention. Every day is serendipitous. Every day is a whole breath of consciousness, and we are literally like one with it. And so that's why I say thank you for it, because again, if I'm not here the next day, at least I got to say what really it was while I was here.
Right.
You told me I gave you energy. I gave you energy, but you gave me energy. And so that's that relationship that we have. And that's why I'm not trying to sell to everyone under the moon and under the sun, because my energy is precious, and only those that deserve it. But I'm not so high and mighty, and so thinking that I'm just that to go, you can't touch me. You know what I mean? You can't have none of this. People don't even deserve my work. Don't even open my journal, dude. Then why'd you write in it, bro? You know what I'm saying? And so I sketch on this paper, and I do these drawings, and I put it out to the world, because otherwise, why am I doing it? You know, so if that makes you feel good, best believe I feel it, because I put it in that. And you having it, man, you don't even know how much life you have supported by those pieces that you have in your office right now. You've supported my pain, my struggles, my happiness, the joy that goes in it, the love that I found with my woman. You are supporting all of that. You're supporting my parents who support me, and I got all my sauce from. I get all my awesomeness from them. So you're supporting them. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're paying homage. You know what I mean? So again, thank you.
Yeah. Well, all right. So we're going to end the show, but Xander, like I said, you're welcome back anytime. Mama J, you already know you have an open invitation. I mean, that's just a given. So I thank everybody who tuned in tonight and got to know Xander. If you're interested in any of Xander's artwork or a buddies, then please reach out to it's Xander6 Comics on Instagram. And there is a link to his website as well. But, Xander's awesome to talk to. Just hit him up in a DM and if you're interested in something, and we'll take it from there.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. You guys have a great night.
Bye, guys.